Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Welcome to the BCL live podcast. My name is Vetti, and for those who don't know me, I'll be hosting tonight. We're here to bring you all the action, insights, and behind the scenes stories for BCL 2025. Huge shout out to our title sponsors, who is All-Star Media, as well as our other amazing sponsors, BYD, IB Design, McGrath, Mitsubishi Liverpool, Fit Investments, Carb, Saffron and Curry, Roxy Finance, and MKS Sports. And thanks for making the season possible. Today, we've got a special lineup for you. We're sitting down with the OZNSUers, and these guys made it to the quarterfinals undefeated last season. So we've got 4 to 5 people here to talk about that, and a squad that kicked off in 2024 and that has already made a name for itself with a great mix of experienced as well as fresh talent. So joining us today will be Saik, Prateet, Raj, Arko, and maybe Kaurab if he gets online. So we'll talk about their journey, the highs and lows of their first season, and what's in store for them this season. So let's dive in. Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey, Vetti. Good to see you, brother.
Yeah, looks like you managed to dial in just in time.
Yeah, and I've got this background that I've been told to put on, whilst the rest of the boys. What are you guys doing?
I got it. I'm having some technical difficulties.
Yeah, me too.
I was late, but accurate with my with my setup.
Talking about the team, especially the lads then. Now, you guys have been playing together for a couple of years now. You joined BCL last year, undefeated until the semis. And so what's the story behind the team? I mean, how did this team form?
I think I can answer that, right?
Sure, go ahead.
So, 2010, right? A bunch of friends from uni, right? Founded this cricket team under the NSU Northside University, and they've just been playing ever since.
Which is amazing, and I actually know Chandan. He's a very good friend of mine as well. I think it was one time he actually asked me to come down and see how you guys go. Unfortunately, that didn't occur. But having said that, now you've got also the mixes of your Kaurab, your Adnans, your Tash Nabis. How did that team form?
So basically, what's happened is a bunch of our players over here, Protein and Promit, play for Scorpions as well, right? And they thought Scorpions last thought with the experience, right, and our inexperience of our young players, we could mix it together and create one crazy team, right? And hopefully, Kaurab and Papu, Rifat, they can help us, right, with the experience and just hopefully make us adaptable into this competition.
Yeah, I think that's very well said. I was going to say you've got a lot of youngins, but at the same time, you've got the experience to back it up, which is really good. And so, how's the team gelling, especially after your first season in BCL? And how's the squad looking like for this season?
Oh yeah, so I can answer that. So we've been doing pretty good. I would say we've been starting to run a few more training sessions together, trying to get some more bonding between us. So every week on Friday afternoons, we train together and we're trying to get more players and train together as a team.
Yeah, I think gelling, I think you win as a team and you lose as a team, and that's where the bonding happens, right? That's when you start gelling as a team really nicely. So I think practice definitely helps the cause. Has Kaurab been turning up to training sessions? Or
Yeah, he has. It's good to see him. He's coming a lot more frequently, which is good. Everyone is starting to come now, so that's good.
Which is good. I think back in the days when we used to train for the Raiders, everyone used to rock up as well. So which is really good to see, right? So we've got. I'd also like. Sorry, you wanted to say something?
Who, Vetti? Me?
No, just asking. So what did you guys think of the comp last year? As in, how was it run? How were the sponsors? How were the games? What did you guys think of it?
Look, the comp last year I think it was really well run. Like, especially the way it was, live streamed. All my friends they were watching it. They were having a bit of fun watching me, either get out early or score some big runs. And obviously, like our team, a lot of us have played for ages together. So some of our other teammates that aren't Bengali but have played with me, Protein, and some of the other boys since like we were little. They love watching that stuff as well. So I think it was run very well. Some great organization there.
And maybe just to add to that, Vetti, is there's some games under lights as well. I mean, we played one game under lights last year, so that was in the depths of winter, playing at night is a challenge, but it was a welcome challenge. So that was nice as well.
Was it 5 degrees or?
Yeah, the hands.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, catches definitely weren't comfortable. But hopefully there's some more games or under lights this year, and also the Saturday Sunday flexibility. I think a lot of people, even the youngsters, people got uni assignments, work, social commitments. So having that flexibility over Saturday Sunday. So I think, it's a nice tournament.
Yeah, I can't agree more. It's probably one of the better run tournaments in our community. Like you were saying, under the lights, you can play every now and then. Flexibility in regards to Saturday, Sunday games. And look, for me, the highlights, it's every 2 weeks, right? It's not every week that you've got to rock up on a Sunday, whether it's winter and it's at 9 o'clock in the morning with 3 degrees outside, so which really helps, right? And you do also get to spend some time with the family, and you youngins go to university, so you get a bit of study time in as well. So, talking about last season, you guys were undefeated all the way through. Then you came to the quarterfinals, and unfortunately, you were knocked out. What are your thoughts in regards to that, especially last season? And what are one or two highlights of last season? Don't all answer at once.
Okay,
I'm letting the young guys go first. Like I got reflections, but
all right. So I think one of the highlights was definitely going invincible in the group stage. Right?
Come on, guys. Do you
pretty
remember what happened?
Yeah, of course. And then quarters, obviously, I think we just cracked under pressure, right? The Saints guys batted really well in the middle, Akhter and Tanzula, right? And even though we had a little breakthrough, it was a bit too late. And then our batting just had a little collapse as well. So, yeah.
What do you think, Mirab?
I reckon we had a really strong team, but in most of the games, like towards the end, we weren't able to perform to our ability with the bat most of the time. And our bowling side was pretty strong. Like we had leg spinners, we had Orko, and then just the bat just let us down in the end.
Yeah, I think. Sorry, go on.
But at the start of the game, at the start of the tournament, we were performing well on both sides. So yeah.
Yeah, I can't agree more. I think your bowling attack is a very formidable attack. You've got the likes of Akhter, Petit, Kaurab, Rifat, Cash. These are all gun bowlers, right? So yeah, I completely agree with that. What did you think, Petit?
I think we had a great start, but I personally think we just burnt out at the end. So, I could notice in the semi-final, the quarterfinal, we kind of, in our our fielding, we kind of dropped those catches. We let them take those extra runs. We let them build some partnerships, which I felt like we could have built a bit more pressure. And also in our batting, we kind of just threw early wickets. We kind of just passed it on to the other person, try to put more task to the other batsman. But I felt like this top order should have taken a bit more responsibility.
Hear that? Kaurab top order should have taken a bit more responsibility.
Me as well.
Well, maybe Ramon Bhaiya can start dropping the tough ones and start taking the sitters that he did in that game.
Look, to be honest, no one.
The sitter of Papu Bhaiya just popped up to him, and then he decides to take a Superman flying catch off me.
Yeah.
So maybe it's not I'm not the problem. It's Raymond.
I think that was the turning point of the game as well, because I think you're a very prized wicket. I think we thought that if we can get you, I think that the game, there's a possibility the game will change. But Raymond is pretty good in the field, and he's running with his old legs that he does have. So, Raj, what did you think?
Yeah, look, I mean, throughout the group stages, we were very hungry. I think we sort of lost that going into the quarterfinals, like that real hunger to win. Like everyone was really, really up for it, and we sort of took it for granted in the end. Like, I think the least intense game we had was probably the quarterfinals, and like, the energy we had, and I feel like it was sort of maybe because we were used to like winning or whatever it was, but yeah, it's definitely a lesson we need to take, moving forward, making sure to keep that hunger alive, and really want to individually win the game for the team and take that responsibility on ourselves.
Yeah, I think well said. Kaurab, your thoughts?
I think the boys summed it up pretty well. I think we played, what was it, like 8 games in the group stage, 7-8 games, something like that, before you get to the quarters. And within that, there were at least 3 or 4 games where it was pretty tight. I mean, it could have gone either way. I mean, we ended up on the winning side of it, but it could have gone either way. So, like the boys are reflecting, those are some real highlights from the season, because it shows that we gained that experience of winning in those pressure moments.
Yes.
But knockout games are knockout games. It doesn't matter what's happened before that. You have to turn up on the day, and the team that turns up on the day the best will likely win that game. And I think Gladiators it was Gladiators that you guys were playing? Sorry, Saints. Like, you guys came out firing. I mean, even when we were you guys batted first, and then I think we pulled it back towards the back end of that innings and reined you guys in.
Absolutely.
And then in the batting, those pressure moments, like Ramon had taken that catch, as you say, that was probably a game-changing moment, because if that goes through, that probably goes for 4, and then if I get going, then
you win the match.
140 is not that big a total. If we just get it a bit closer, then it leaves less for our middle and lower order to do. So, knockouts, I think that's good experience for all of us, the young guys, that no matter what happens, in the knockout, you have to show up and you have to try and win those key moments. So, yeah, some good highlights from the season. But we lost that one, but opportunity for us to learn from that coming into this season.
Yeah, I agree. I out of all the teams, I think you're probably one of the most formidable for me. I think you guys have a really well balanced team, whether it's batting or your bowling. And to be honest, I think the cup's for your taking if you guys want it. And look, to be honest, there's a lot of good teams out there, but with that great balance that you guys do have, whether it's bowling, batting, experience, and the youngins really coming through, I think you guys will definitely be a formidable team, at least this season as well as the future. Now, talking about the highlights of last season, what would be your highlights or any personal achievements for last season?
Okay. Well, for me,
go on.
For me, it would have to be the last over that I bowled. I think I was defending like 6-7 runs. They had to get 6 or 7 runs, and I think the first ball, I forgot what happened, but I bowled it wide, and then they hit me for a 4 as well. And then I think the equation was like 3 balls and needed like 3 runs or something, and somehow we pulled it back. So it was so good in the moment. Bowling that.
As a fast bowler, as someone hits you for a 4, you get angry, right?
Yeah.
It's not meant to happen.
Yeah.
That was an unbelievable game. That was against Burners. I mean, they're a really strong.
They're a very good team.
Batting side, and as Pratit said, I mean, when whoever it was, who was it batting? It was one of their batters as well. Hit him for 4 first ball. They need 3 or 5 or something. So we're like, okay, how are we gonna get it back from here? And then Pratit bowls a few dots, and then the last ball where they need 2 from 1, it goes up in there, and then Babu takes the catch, and we all celebrate. So it was a ridiculous highlight that game there. the finish.
you know, you always got to back the batting team to win, right? Especially under those circumstances. But when the father of cricket pulls out an amazing catch, which is Adnan, right? You got to bow your head.
yeah.
Raj, how about you? What was one of your highlights?
Yeah, I mean, as a personal highlight, probably, you know, that game against, I think it was the Lemon Tree Lions, you know, where I scored 87 odd. You know, I think I got dropped maybe once, or, you know, but other than that, it was a really fun innings, you know, just very aggressive, and just like the way I love to bat, obviously. You know, and then sometimes, you know, watching it back, just seeing, you know, how I was playing, definitely a highlight for me, yeah.
Which is really good, right? We want to see young players score a lot of runs, especially in BCL. But Merab, you were laughing when he was saying that. Why is that the case?
Just a bit of like exaggeration in the way he's like saying it, but I reckon for me it's an uncommon one. Like nothing related to do with batting or bowling, but I remember one game specifically where me and Syke were like both at long on and long off, and both of us took like 4 or 5 catches between us two. And I remember just like enjoying fielding that day. So yeah, that was one for me.
Which is very special, right? You know, at the end of the day, catches win matches.
Yeah, it was catches and matches.
How about yourself, Syke?
I go the same with Miro. Fielding, definitely. I like fielding, right? And BCO, it's diving for the ball, right? Saving around the boundary. It's just a different feeling for me. And yeah, that's what. Yeah, that's my
So
personal.
you'd call yourselves the John T. Rhodes of the Bangla community, or
Nah. I wouldn't say not John T. Rhodes, but I'd say I'm pretty decent.
and John T. Or
I mean, the fielders in the team, Kaurab, Riffat's amazing with the ball,
Riffat's
right?
amazing.
And the field as well, the way he picks it up is just mesmerizing to look at. And then, yeah.
I can't agree with you more in regards to Riffat. He's an amazing player. Whether it's bowling, batting, fielding, captaining, he can do it all.
Yeah, it's a great
But
insight.
it's probably Glenn Phillips nowadays. These kids don't know John T.
Did you see
They
that?
probably don't even
yesterday?
know who John T.
Oh
John
my
T.
God! It was just
They weren't even
unbelievable.
born. They weren't even born, Vetti.
Sorry, that was my era talking, our era talking. Kaurab, I'm going to ask what was your special highlight for yourself, but please don't tell me how you scored 89 runs in like 10 balls, please.
No. I think, and I didn't anyway, so it doesn't matter. I can't say that.
My friend, you are capable.
I reckon that game against Burners as well, and why it was a personal highlight was because I'd been struggling with a knee injury, like a chronic knee injury for a year and a half. And then after a long time, I pretty much almost recovered from it. And that was the game where I felt like I could bowl with a bit more effort, and I had rhythm. And I think I went through that top order. I got like 3 wickets in my 4 overs. So yeah, that was definitely a highlight. Like just being able to come back and feel like that confidence with the ball again.
Well, that confidence definitely showed a couple of weeks ago at the Multicultural Cup. For those who weren't watching, he was bowling gas. Like, it was quick. Game plans. So we're talking about, crucial matches and, taking your catches, as well as, bowling to your lines and lengths and whatnot. Now, how do you prepare for these high-stake matches?
I would say that most of the preparation we do is kind of like built in training. And like some of the times we would do like match scenarios inside the nets, like say in the last 10 minutes would be like chasing runs with a certain number of wickets left, or like putting more pressure on ourselves when we're fielding in training. Like the way we kind of play in the match is like built in training.
Yeah, I think that's a very good call out. I think that's from Pups. I think back in the day, he ingrains that into his team members. Firstly, catches win matches, but at the same time, he gives you those match situations in the nets, which I still haven't forgotten. So, toughest matchups for this comp, as in for this BCL this season. Who do you think your biggest competitor will be, and how will you move forward with that particular game? Would you be switching your batting lineups, your bowling lineups? For us in the Raiders, what we do is, depending on who's bowling and depending on the game situation, we do mix the batting lineups up. So what would you do in regards to one of your, one of the great teams that you might face? And who might that be? Who might that team be?
Syke, you've got an idea of the other teams. You've been heavily involved in all the team discussions, captain meetings, and things like that. So,
okay. Well, in terms of teams that I'd say our biggest competitors, there are a bunch. Honestly, we've got 3 finalists, right? 2 from the BSO, Cricket Bros, and Ranwick, right? And they've got 2 exceptional teams. And then we've got another BD Cup finalist, right? SVT, who I think are actually the ones to win the comp, in my opinion, right? Then there's Shield, right? They're making a great team. They've got Agnic, they've got crazy 11. Then there's Gladiators as well. So it's just, so many A-list players, right? And I think that we're up there, but we've just got to start training more as a team, right? And hopefully we'll get there.
Yeah, I see. It's very valid points that you make there. And I see Cricket nodding his head saying, yeah, we're going to get down to training, lads. We really need to.
Yeah. So adding on to Merv and Syke, I think, training is very important. I feel like the reason we did lose the quarterfinals is because we burnt out. We kind of got a little bit overconfident. We didn't end up showing up to training. Some of our players just didn't come. And even on that day, we rocked up a bit late, myself included. I came a bit late as well. So I feel like what we need to do differently is obviously show up to training, because that's how we can build as a team, get together and, work on our fielding together, work on our batting, bowling, so we can understand each other's strengths and weaknesses. And I think that will help us a lot.
Yeah.
And another thing, something you were talking about Paps. Paps, I've known Paps for around 3 years now, and what he's drilled into me, we've lost 4 quarterfinals together. Like me, Kaurab, Paps, we've all played together. And the one thing that he always tells us is to always just put intensity. So, like for example, just batting in partnerships, running that extra one hard. Don't leave it to the other person. And when you're fielding as well, try to stop those extra runs, because they do add up.
Yes, and each run you give is a run that you need to chase, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Can't agree more. So Raj, who do you think is the top 2 or 3 teams that?
Look, I think there's a lot of great teams in the comp, but I think at the end of the day, obviously A-list players, all of that stuff. But I think on our day, we're better, if not just as good as any of those teams. And I think if we, really drill in, get ourselves to training, like no one is beating us. And at the end of the day, like, you were talking about changing up things and the tactics, and of course they do matter, but I think one of the key things for us is just to stay focus on our game, bat in partnerships, and if we do get going, there's no team that I think will beat us.
Yeah, I can't agree more. Once again, you guys are one of probably the best balanced teams in the comp. Apologies, I wasn't laughing at you. I was laughing at the comment that came up.
Sorry, Raj. Yeah, I was going to say, I wasn't laughing at you. It was Vetti's son just coming in saying hello to him there.
It's like, hello, Dada. This is why you shouldn't get kids into Facebook at a very young age. He's only 8. He's going to kill me now. Yeah, I do agree. And look, I think Kaurab, as in, when we started, like you started before, me playing Bangla Comp, right? Like 20 years ago, right? You've won every championship there is to win, right? And back then there was maybe just 1 or 2 really good teams. Now, fast forward, 20 years, now you see multiple teams, and on any given day, these teams can beat you, right? You just need one person to go on, have that intensity within the team, and a bit of luck on your side, you can definitely win. So for yourself, who do you think are maybe 3 teams for yourself to look out for?
Yeah, firstly, it's incredible, isn't it? I do reflect on that sometimes, that the quality of cricketers throughout our community now, it's just it's just really good to see, because and there was I was away for 4 years, so coming back I saw that dramatic change, because I didn't see that gradual build up in the quality. But before I left, it was Raiders, Peefy, Dominators, and that's pretty much it. Like, no disrespect to the other teams back then, but they were really, there was a tier of teams, and that maybe there's 2 or 3, and then there was everyone else. So the finals would always be played between those teams, and SPT were one of these teams that were starting to come up at the time. But now you see SPT recently won the BD Gold Cup. Shield is an amazing team. All the teams that have been mentioned there. So you're right. There is, like, I go into any game now not feeling comfortable at all. It's not this is a given. It's you go in and you're going to have to perform, or several players in your team are going to have to perform, and the whole team is going to have to generally perform in order to get you over the line in any given game, and in a group stage, whatever it might be. So I think that level of competition means that there's an anticipation and an excitement about each game, which is great, because you're not waking up and the guys aren't thinking. I mean, back in the day in Raiders, I'll be honest, I used to think, I hope I get a chance to bat today, because there's some great batsmen in the batting order above me.
And I used to bat after you, so I'm like, can I please get a chance to bat today as well?
Yeah, exactly. But nowadays it's like, no, hopefully some of us can really step up. So yeah, having said all that, to answer your question, like, look, when it comes to picking who's going to be there at the end, the teams that regularly come up are the ones that are going to come up again. For me, Raiders are always up there. There's Gladiators, as the boys mentioned. Shield is a strong outfit. Burners are 2 times defending champions now. So they've got quality batting line up there, and good all rounders too. You've got Crick Bros, who are now in the BSL final. They beat us recently, and I'm playing with them in the Bangladesh, and they're a quality side too. Good young players. Good talented bunch of guys. So really hard to pick, but if I had to pick, would you say 2 or 3?
I'll give you 2.
For me, it's going to be, and actually, before I say that, to Raj's point as well, that despite all the good teams, you still got to back yourself, right? At the end of the day, you got to back yourself. That's the key here as well. So I like that mindset, Raj. I think despite how strong your opposition might be, you have to have that belief that, we're going to win, because it's a short format game. We turn up on the day, and you get the big guys, and you restrict the team, and then you bowl well, you bat well, you're going to get the game. You're going to win the game. So you got to back yourselves as well. But picking teams other than us, I'd say it's got to be. I'm going to put it to Raiders and SBT this time. Yeah.
Which is nice picks. So I'm from the Raiders. So, but anyways, but no, I think going back to what you were saying as well. What's the you've got a lot of young team members in your team. So this question's for you, Merab. Now, what's the best piece of advice you've received from the likes of Kaurab, Adnan, the father of our cricketing community? What was the best piece of advice you received from them?
I think it's just not letting the pressure get to you on intense parts of the game. There'll be some moments where we don't have enough runs to protect, and the team's has 5 overs left to score 15 runs or so. and I'm the one bowling. I remember Kaurab would come up to me, like have a word saying, like, just focus on the area you're trying to bowl. Don't worry about what the batter's doing. Just bowl it at your spot, and the result will come. Like, and like just holding your presence in the game, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's definitely wise words. I think I've come up against Kaurab. He never bowls it at the stump to me. He bowls it really wide. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to go across. And then he bowls it on the middle stump. And yeah, absolutely. Good advice from Kaurab. Raj, in regards to your batting, what are pieces of advice you've got from, the team members or the more experienced members in your team?
Yeah, I mean, last season batting with Kaurab every now and then, especially, when I'm not getting going, just, keeping that head down and really making sure, you stage a comeback in your batting, just not even necessarily just the things, he's telling me or in general, anyone in the team that's a bit senior, like just seeing the way they compose themselves while they're batting, really, leading from the front. I think that's what, has taught me the most, just watching the way they compose their innings. Kaurab is, he scores fast. He really takes control of the game and just, trying to learn how to do that, in my own way, in my own style. That's probably been, what I've learned the most.
I think that's a very good point. Like, I'm not sure if you guys watched one of the games when Kaurab was batting. I think it might have been one of the other comps. We were playing on Seddon. And I think there was like 80 runs or 100 runs to get. And Kaurab just teed off, right? And I think there was like 60 balls. The composure that he kept during that game. We were all watching online. We're like, oh my God, what? Probably hit another six. But the way he did it and how composed he was for that run chase was just amazing. So if anyone's going to give you batting tips, I definitely. So Kaurab, you don't need to just give the youngins batting tips. You can give me batting tips as well.
No, I don't think anyone needs my batting tips anymore. If you like Raj, we've got, you're talking about young talent in our team. Like Raj, I think that his reflection there was a good one because Raj is a destructive top order batsman. I don't know if you guys saw a couple of his innings last season, but once he gets going, it's one of those batsmen that are hard to stop because he's so destructive. I mean, you see, he picks up the length early and he just plays through the line. But I think what he was reflecting on there is, sometimes, because I think you and I had that one innings where you hadn't quite gotten going, and then I think we lost 2 wickets. I came in, and then we started to rotate the strike, and then that almost took a little bit of pressure off. And then as soon as you got that first boundary, you got going, right? So, and that helps me as well because it takes pressure off me to continuously score runs. So I think, reflection for the young guys is batting is in partnerships. We think batting is an individual thing. It's a partnership thing. So sometimes it's about just getting off strike, letting the other guy do their thing, them getting off strike, you get, and then a little bit of momentum there, and then you're away. So I think sometimes we forget that you're batting with a partner, not just yourself. So
yeah, I think it's very valid advice. Absolutely. Protein for yourself. You're an up and coming quick bowler. Your lines are just immaculate. I must say. Very composed, even though things may not be going your way. What are some of the top advices? For example, like Kaurab or even Rifat has passed on to you because these guys are express bowlers. What do you 1 or 2 points that you can share with us?
I would say, so I think one thing that Kaurab and Rifat have really helped me with is my mindset. So say I played a lot of games with Kaurab and Rifat over the past 3 years, and there have been some times where I've been tonked, like I've been hit for a 6, 2 balls, or like hit for 4s, but like, and me instantly, like a bit immature, I put my head down straight away, but like I can see whenever Kaurab and Rifat bowl, even if they do get hit, they come back, they come straight back, and they believe in themselves. So that's something I've tried to adopt. So even if I've been hit for another ball, I can still make it up. And the game's not over just by 1 ball. So that's just something I've adopted from that.
Which is really good because the game's not over until it's actually over, right? It doesn't matter if there's 10 runs to get and there's 4 balls, or 20 runs to get and there's 60 balls remaining. The game is never over until you get all those wickets or until the balls dry up. So yeah, very, very good advice.
As a pace bowler yourself, Betty, you know this, is that you got to get into the contest with the batsman. I mean, it's you versus the batsman. It's a fight. It's a dog fight. That's how you got to think of it, because they're going to go after you, but if they hit you, then it's you got to get right back at them. You have to go and get them back. I mean, that should be your fighting spirit in a way. And that's what sometimes, us bowlers, we fire up. It's nothing against anyone personally. It's just that fighting fire that comes out as a pace bowler. No pace bowler likes to get hit, right?
Yeah.
So you want to go back and get
them out, rip that middle stump out of the ground. And I think for me, I think you guys hit the nail on the head when you said it's the mentality, right? Because it doesn't matter what game it is, doesn't matter against who you play. If you've got that mentality, you are going to win today in front of your friends, in front of your mates who you've gelled with for such a long time. You guys have been training day in, day out. Look, no one's going to beat you. Simple as that. And coming back to what Kaurab said, that spirit, right? If you've got that ingrained in you, and look, it's not something that you learn straight away. It takes time, and that's what you guys have been doing over the last couple of years. You guys have been really gelling nicely. And for me, that's why you're one of my top picks for BCL. So talked about the younger ones. So how do you, Kaurab, likes of yourself, Tash, Kabir, and Pups, help these younger ones grow? Because they're very talented, as you know, right?
Yeah. Look, to be honest, they don't need that much like telling or any of this sort of lectures or advice or things like that. I think a lot of these guys in the team, they're good mature young kids, so they got good heads on them. I think a lot of it is this mindset stuff that Pratit is talking about, because they've all got the ability. It's about just like switching or not switching, because that's implying that they don't think like this, but it's to consistently basically have that self-belief that look, I don't care who I'm coming up against. So when we're bowling, I don't care who I'm coming up against, I'm going to get this guy out. Like having that sort of mentality that I'm going to get this guy out. When you're batting, okay, I'm struggling, but I'm not going to give my wicket away. At the same time, I need to keep the scoreboard ticking. So what is it that I need to? So it's like that problem-solving mentality of keeping the game moving forward, and adapting your ability in the moment. So I think that's not advice that we give them, but hopefully it's and that will serve us well as well. If we can try and demonstrate that as consistently as possible, then these guys hopefully will see that, oh yeah, that works, and then they'll start to do that themselves. So I think for us, it's really trying to not preach anything, but rather show by example what actually we can do. So yeah, I think and that way, we're not kind of sitting there and giving them advice or whatever, but we are actually trying to win the game by performing ourselves, and then hopefully they step up in those moments as well, and then we're all collectively playing well together. So that's really my hope, that if we can do that, like I'm not here to sit there and tell these guys what to do, but if I can do whatever it is that I need to do myself, and hopefully they can observe and see the little differences and nuances about any approach they pick up, and they can learn themselves. I think each player is unique. Like my style is not going to fit someone else, but someone else can look at something that I'm doing and say, hey, that's a good approach that I can adapt for myself. So I think the best we can do is just do our best, like perform ourselves, and demonstrate other behaviors, like going to training and doing all those like basic fundamental stuff. And if we do that, then hopefully these guys can pick up whatever they need to learn and adapt themselves.
I can't agree more. But talking about your players and talking about your stars, so Merab, this question's for you and Syke specifically. So if you've got one game changer in your team, who would it be?
I'd say Kaurab, and I'd say specifically why. Going back to mentality and as setting an example, right? That game against Striking Burners, right, was a prime example of what Kaurab was trying to say. What I mean is we were trying to defend a very low score. 150 at Kirkham is quite low, right? And the way we started off was brilliant, right? We were dotting them up. Kaurab was bowling gas. And what I mean is Merab's never seen Kaurab play up to then, right? And he was so shocked. He kept coming up to me every ball. And he's like, who is this? Right? Where do we find him from? Right? He was that shocked. And then slowly, right, we got the wickets, we got the dots. And till the end, like you guys said, right, the fight isn't over. The game isn't over until the end. Up to that last ball, we finally got the win. Which is why I say Kaurab is, a game changer in any team, right?
Yeah, I do agree with that. How about yourself, Merab?
Since Sykes already said Kaurab, I will say I reckon Adiyat was my pick because as much as it's about like the X factor, being able to like change the game in a second, like also starting the game well, like Adiyat, like whenever we would have a batting innings, he would be like the dependable batter. He would just go in, score 50s nearly every game, and you could like expect him to do well.
Yes.
So it's not always about like being able to change it in a second, but more like starting off well in a way. Yeah,
that's right, and hopefully trying to bat through that innings as well.
Yeah, and also like even his fielding, like you could depend on putting him in like cover point, and he would stop pretty much everything, catch everything. So yeah.
Agree. Prateek, how about yourself?
Well, I have two in mind. So one for batting and
over the quota, my friend.
All right. Just
I've got four Vetti, so what do I do with that?
No, say your two. Say your two.
So I got two. So one for batting, especially, I would say Raj. I would say Raj because I've played. I don't know why he's laughing, but I've played with Raj since I was like 13, 14, and I've just seen him like when he gets going, he scores runs quickly. Like the runs just keep flowing, and I think if he gets going in BCL, I think in Kirkham especially, he can hit quick boundaries, quick runs, which would definitely be an advantage for our team getting those quick runs. And another one that I would say, I don't want to say it, but I would say Promit, our opening bowler, because I think
why are you guys laughing when he says
he doesn't want to say it because it's his younger brother. No one wants the younger brother because he's gonna have to hear it, isn't he?
Yeah, he's gonna have to hear it. Yeah, he's improved a lot over the year. And I would say he's an X factor because he's a lefty quick who's increased his pace a lot this year. And I think because he's going to be opening the ball, if he can get those quick wickets, that would really help us with, as our team, as a mindset. If you get those quick wickets, we can keep building that pressure. Yeah, so that's why I'd say that.
Which are really good players. Look, if Promit's not doing anything next Sunday, he can come and train. I'd like to see him play, to be honest, because it's hard to get a left arm bowler who bowls quick. He's got that angle as well, so which would really help him. Raj, how about yourself? And you can't say yourself.
I wasn't going to say myself, but, look, in our team, I feel like we have a lot of those players that they can change a game. And, we've had so many performances that have showed sort of the depth in our team. It's, obviously we have Kaurab, Rifat, like those players. Rifat, he hasn't been mentioned yet, so I think I'll mention him as well. Just the way he, carries our team, especially when we're fielding, that energy, it's something that that's like completely different. Like it just transforms our team. And I feel like, especially last year having all of those guys come in, it's just, sort of just put our team into this mode of just, that hunger that I mentioned before, I feel like that's what, a quality player like him does. And yeah, I'd say he's probably the one to watch out for.
Great. I'm going to see him playing in one of the games. Hopefully, let's see how we go. Last question. This season for BCL, where do you guys expect to finish?
Hopefully top.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's only one place you can expect to finish, and I think it's at the top. Why would you say second when you're trying to get to the top? At least that's how I think about it.
Yeah, I agree. Do you all agree with that?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and like I said, you guys are one of the most well-balanced teams out there. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what you guys can do on the field. You guys were undefeated all the way through till the quarters, and hopefully you're undefeated all the way through till the finals. And obviously, like you said, it's a better team on the day that wins the game. But I do wish you all the best. Good luck, and hope to see you in the finals.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your
Thank you,
time.
guys. Thank you. You take care. Bye-bye.
Take care. Salam from everyone. See you boys at training. Yeah.
Friday, guys. Friday. Don't forget.
Training, boys.
Friday.
Yeah.
6 p.m. sharp.
Before iftar.
Oh, you better come.
No iftar until you've trained.
Thank you.
Thanks, boys. Yeah. See you guys.
Bye-bye.